Hi everybody! You might already be guessing where I am from this layout here. This flag, the Brick Nation flag, and all the bricks you see and the clover and whatnot. This is the Brick Nation. This is the center of town where you spawn when you are born into the Brick Nation. And since I know the password, I can get out. Now, I was once a proud member of the Brick Nation. I have left it since, I don't know, a year ago, maybe. But I had great fun building in this town. I played here with a bunch of friends and it was all good fun. So sadly, some of these notes are no longer correct. That used to be my name. That used to be another name. The notes have all been overwritten here because it is like one of the first areas of the map. So yeah. Anyway, these were some of my favorite clothes here. This was my little house, and this was like what I usually wore when I was in the Brick Nation. This was May's house, from what I remember. May had a lovely little house, and the houses were designed by me, so we had a few different designs here. Sadly, yeah, the notes, I'm sorry, these are not correct. This used to say, I think this was Raoul that lived here. I think this was Delta or Jeffrey. Not sure, or this was Jeffrey. I can't remember who lives where. I do think that Amani and Kari lived over on this side of the lake. And apparently they had a plan to build another house here, but they never got around to it. We do have some fancy motorbikes here that Amani and Kari won during some competitions. But I'm not going to take those. I am going to take the horse though. So let's go and see what we got. Actually, I could take the show horse. That's actually a better horse. So yeah, this was basically the housing area at the Brick Nation. Like, not really a big part of town, but you could have some food here. I'm craving a gooseberry. And a pickle, apparently. So I'd say let's just make it to the kitchen. Let's see if I can get that pickle that I'm craving. But also let's give a little bit of a tour on the way there. So this was where we had our horses for the people who were like, you know, logging in. You can also get them from your own hut, but here were some wagons and other horses for people who were, you know, sometimes visiting but weren't playing that much. You can see that there were some clothes in them, probably clothes that those people liked wearing. Then over here we had some horse pen for the horses that we were breeding. This was our very first, or one of, not the first, but one of our tool sheds. Like, because the nation is so big, we had a few areas like this outside where you would just put a bunch of tools. So if anyone was working, they could just come here and take this. We also had our shitty clothes here, just, you know, for visitors or whatever. Then, if we go up, we find over here a very nice farm. Look at this farm. It's a beautiful layout, isn't it? Not too big, not too small. This was designed by Colin and Tanya, if I'm not mistaken. And I really like this farm. I think it's a very cute design. The symmetry really pleases me. And also the fact that the sizes of the farms are kind of intelligent. And yeah, just very fun. Over here you have your sugarcane zone. Also lots of wild horses. This was for growing wheat. At the moment there's none, I don't think. Or this was for growing wheat and that was just a windmill. Yeah, that was it. Then over here were the animal areas south of the kitchen. Maybe I'll do the kitchen first because let's see. So they had a bunch of yums in here. As you can see, massive amount of food stored here. I'm thinking of having a pickle and I wonder if they ever made the pickle palace or finished it. It's south though. I don't think... Oh! There are pickles here. Okay. And then I want a spoon of ice cream, which is available in an ice cream hut, I think. So yeah, this was the kitchen. Very nice kitchen. And then to the west of the kitchen, you had the freezer, which was also part of the kitchen. And to the right of the kitchen, you had more of a storage room with berries and apples and sugar and those things. Very beautiful little roads outside of it as well. And then the animals were also right outside. So you have the sheep over here, a cheese hut here. This was the milking cow for milking. The cows were living over here. The pens are really pretty, right? The fishing garden. Oh, this was new. I never saw the fishing garden. And this is the house that Kari built. Mr. Goose, seafood, and dining. So yeah, this is something Kari made. It's basically a fishing place or a fishing restaurant on a lake. I mean, it's a super cute idea, isn't it? Now, the fun thing about Brick Nation is that it's walled in completely, so you can't have people coming in here and messing with it. So this is one of the outer walls, and it's really massive. So remember, we are at 118 tiles above spawn right now, and we have reached the top of the area here. And then also these tracks are really cute because this is a track that goes to the freezer, and you can basically just deliver your fish from that little track. This is so cute. Oh, they were making some more things here. This is also new. Apparently they were making a park here. Sadly, never really finished it, but you know, it still looks pretty nice. Would have been nice to see it finished. One of our very first little honey farms in the town. And this was our initial animal pen when we were like, when the nation was just like an hour old. This is one of the first things we built. We made a tiny animal pen like this, and this is like one of the most compact animal pens you could have. You can have like these separate little areas for the boars, for the mouflon, and for the bison, and then basically all the animals that are like domestic, you just put them all together in here. I like this design, and I like pointing it out for people who are new to the game. This is a pretty, you know, noob user-friendly thing to build. It's very efficient. And then this was where we built, where we had our first cotton and such. This was the actual tailor that was built by May. May has no longer been playing 2 Hours One Life the past year, sadly, so she's also left the game. And that's for more people who are in the Brick Nation. Some of them have just completely left the game. Others are still playing, and I think the Brick Nation might return in one way or another, but maybe a little smaller than this particular version of it. I think this version also, like Brick Nation, became too big at a certain moment. And it's sort of, I always say there's a sweet spot with about 3 to 4 eaves where you can build together in harmony. But once you get over that number, there start to be more strife and struggles and clashing of personalities and groups within the group, right? So I think that at a certain point, nations just become too big and fall apart. And we've seen that over and over and over again with different nations. And I think also that's why some people left eventually. It was just like, it was no longer fun because there was like some clashes going on. And it's, at the same time, I say clashes, but at the same time, I wanna make sure that I also said I still carry a warm heart for everyone in the Brick Nation despite that. And I really enjoyed playing here. But yeah, it's just, it was starting to get a little stressful at some point, so that's why I had to leave, I guess. So yeah, this is sort of the northern part of the Brick Nation. So we have the beautiful tailor built by May. This was our initial storage area here. We just put down everything that was storage. And over here we had a tree farm, which I think was designed by Farina. Once again, someone who's left the game completely since then. But this was a very nice little tree farm and very nice to have. Little honey farm too. It's smallest little honey farm I can imagine. And this was still like, we were still making honey the old-fashioned way here. That's why there's a fire pit here. Back in the old days, you had to cook your honey. That's how we started. But the honey recipe was changed somewhere on this map, I think, to be without the honey cooking. Probably a few months into the map that we changed that. Also these geese, look at them. Look at this thing. I was, you know, we were playing over there with the, up north with the animals and stuff. And I saw this place and I was like, oh my fucking god. And this is one of the first things I made in the Brick Nation. And it's super simple. It's what I call the omelet station. Now there was no goose here, but I was like, I'm making the shelf here so it still looks like it's all part of the same setup. And this basically became the omelet station where I would just cook omelets for people. And I just thought this was so funny that there was like 5 geese next to each other and then another one on the same line. And then there's still a few more geese up there. There might have been more geese down here as well. Yeah, see, there's a lot of geese here. But this spot, I think Amani saw this and was like, did you spawn these in? Did you ask a dev to spawn in these keys? Like, he would not believe that this was actually here naturally without being spawned in. And I was like, nope. And then he started taking water from these geese and I was like, no, don't take the water. You're gonna make the geese disappear. But yeah, he stopped eventually because he was smithing. We had a smithy up here. So he sometimes came here to take water if he needed some for the smithy here. That smithy has been long moved, so that's no longer there. This was also a tool storage. Initially it had sort of all the tools and all the storage, etc. But now it's just bronze tools for this little area of town. Here we have another orchard. This is a very nice little design for an orchard as well. If you want to stay really compact and not make it too big, this works. It's fine. You just do 3 trees above each other, some beehives in between, some fences around it, and that's it. I also feel like, I think I made this, and I feel like this was before I started making vines of all my corners or something, because these regular fences, that's no longer something I would do. This is our glasswort farm built around the well, which shows that in the past we didn't need salt water for glasswort, but now we need salt water. We even have a watering can here. Well, that's no longer going to work, is it? Then Delta built this little puppy pen here. You can enter it from the side, and all the puppies are here. And I think it was also probably Delta's idea at some point to put maple trees above the puppy pens. Because, well, you do need the sticks anyway when you're going to be playing with the puppies. And this is one of my first honey farm designs. And as you can see, it's nothing like the honey farms that I have nowadays. But yeah, this is a honey farm that I used to do. At least it looks cute. I don't think this is going to be accurate. Yeah, this used to be a grave. I think I remembered murdering a dev here or something. There was some lore going on here. This little area is a little storage house where we were keeping things for the noob smithy. And this is the noob smithy. And you might be like, why is this a noob smithy? Because this is a smithy for people who basically don't do new common stuff. There's no new common here, as you can see. This was mostly for making limestone, for making bricks. We did make a lot of bricks here. After all, we are the brick nation, and we needed to make bricks in several locations across the map, so we wouldn't need to walk all around the map with our bricks. But this noob smithy, yeah, we had a workbench here. I made bowls, plates, quicklime, glass was also made here. So we used it for making other things besides actual smithy things. So you wouldn't make engines here, and we would also be making rubber here. So yeah, that's some other stuff that we did here. And you can see by the composted soil in the boxes, yeah, we did make a lot of bricks here, and we still had to set up for that. We have a mine there with limestone deposit, which we never actually used because we had it in a different location. And this is one of the other outer walls to the Brick Nation. Yeah, and basically, if you see, we went all over this wall, right? So this entire wall didn't only need to be built, it also needed to be protected with moss. Like, so we had to like make a whole bunch of milk and get the stuff going for making it mossy. This is one of my buildings. This is something I built. This is what my first, I think, English country garden. So this is basically, yeah, it is kind of based on what an English country garden is. Like, you have your little gardens, which are like in separate little squares, right? And every garden has its own plants and trees. And if you look at all the English country gardens together in this area, then you basically have every single tree in the game here. I have a similar concept of like a storage for every single tree in the game in Little Meadow. But in Little Meadow, it's not as pretty as this one. And here we had basically all the flowers and trees. There's no flower pots here in the Brick Nation because I don't think anyone has played since the flower pot update. But this would have been the perfect spot for adding some tables with flower pots and just having a flower pot section as well. But yeah, that was a little shed that goes with the English country garden, by the way. And yeah, that's that. Let's also go to the east because I am getting hungry and I need to get an ice cream. So this gives you an overview of how big the Brick Nation was. Like there's massive areas in between where nothing is going on besides some roads and some nature and whatnot. But here is ice cream and cookies. This was also one of the builds of Farina. So I can have my spoon of ice cream here. And yeah, you can see the ice cream house here with some snowbanks and other things. Sadly, the berry bushes have been destroyed. I helped a little bit with the planting of the flowers here in this area. But that was a thing. I think this might go to the limestone mine. Yes. And here is Delta's brilliant limestone mine design, which you have seen in many other towns since then. This is just fantastic, as in you can do your mining here and then immediately after put your stuff in the kiln, and it's just so cool. So when we were mining, we do it like this. Wow, this went well. Oh no, wait, we're already a few on the shelf. And then you just put them immediately in here. You hardly have to move at all. I'm using keyboard controls, which you can probably hear a little bit. But yeah, you would do it like this, and then you'd get your wood, you'd put that in there, you light up a fire, you light it up, and you'd get your limestone like that. So yeah, that's a genius thing. We're also using it a little bit for bricks when we needed some. But then obviously this layout is maybe not the best for making bricks, but you know, if we only need a few, it's not too bad. Over here, another little forest, just in case you need some wood for the limestone mine. I think there's also a building of Tanya around this area. So here we are back at where we started, sort of. Oh, yeah, this is this. I didn't know they made this little thing over here on. They made a little terrace on the river. It's kind of cute. Yeah, this is where we want to go. This is something that Tanya made. Tanya made an oil rig here. So the oil rig is here, and the copper pipes lead it inside to the building. And then over here you can fill your kerosene. Yeah, so that was another building that's here. The Brick Nation, in my opinion, it never got as big as Town, for example. Even though there were like a lot of great ideas in the Brick Nation, I just feel like people stopped playing at a certain point, and there's also a few projects that got really big. Look at the wolves. I killed all these wolves in this biome. It was nuts. There were so many wolves here. I am hungry for French onion soup, but sadly there's none here. I did used to make a little bit of soup here in the past, just because I could. And now we are at the smithy. You might be wondering, why is there cement here on the floor? The smithy was like one of the things we kind of argued about at some point. There was the mine was here, the iron mine, the coal mine. There's a few mines in this area. Like you have a coal mine here, an iron mine there, and then there's also a tundra mineral mine here. So at a certain point we were like, okay, the smithy has to come here. But as you can see, there was a snow biome. And then someone started building the smithy in the snow. And it was like, but you're making us freeze our asses off while we are smithing. You can't do that. That was my opinion on it. I was like, you can't just build it in the snow. You can see that this is also in the snow. And then we built a new one here. In the past, you couldn't break these down. So you were kind of stuck with it. If it was there, you had to like live with it being there. But it was like in the middle of the snow. Now, if I'm not mistaken, if I press X, you can see the design. This is my design, by the way, the smithy, how it turned out to be eventually. It is mostly not in the snow, so people wouldn't freeze their asses off. And in a little room like this isn't the snow, but it is so small that your temperature will be fine. Like, look at the temperature going up, no problem now. So we have another little tool storage here, coal mine outside. You come inside, you can process your coal here. You have your shelters, you can put, make more charcoal or coke, whatever you want. Over here was an area where you could make your rubber. So you have your buckets here, your sulfur, your quicklime, all that stuff. Then over here was where you would be making your engines and your tools. So you have your anvil blocks here, your new common hammer. This is where you would be working. Then if you went over here, this is where you would be making your iron or your steel, because this was the iron mine with the Bessemer and the blast furnace right next to it, basically. So you could make it really easily. Over here you would have your fireplace, a little bit of wood shelter in this area. And it would be kind of easy, like if you needed fire, yes, you would need to move into the other room, but it wouldn't be too crazy. Like this room is really close, this room is close, this room is close. So you wouldn't be very, you wouldn't take very long to be where you needed to go. I also know that we did some more designs, and then one of the designs was in the snow. Amani made another design that was also sort of in the snow and also very memey, shaped like a hammer or something, or some anvil, I think. I don't know, it was shaped like some tool, but it wasn't necessarily super practical. Eventually I pushed through my opinion, and I'm just saying that I did push through my opinion very hard, like, and other people did agree with me, but not everyone. There were different opinions, right? But eventually this is the design we went for the smithy. I'm personally happy with it. I thought it worked great, but Brick Nation didn't last super long with a big group, so in hindsight, maybe I should have let them do what they wanted to do, right? Here's the Tundra mineral mine, and this is also a great example of what you find in a Tundra mineral mine. So you have your diamonds, you have your electrum ingots, you have your gold nuggets, and you have your calamine, which you can all get in the Tundra mineral mine. This little area was also designed by me. It's not really a building, it's just a nice storage for this sort of stuff. And then over here, once again, a little storage, so you can just put whatever you have too much of, or you might not need, like the flat rocks, even a wattle panel out of nowhere. And then over here you have a little ice hole, which was meant to have a rose, I think, so you could do a little fishing here, but that never happened. Here's another one of the walls. And remember how I said the wall was at plus 119? Now we are at minus 162. So that means that there's about 270 tiles between the north wall and the south wall. And if we go over here, this is the east wall. This is at 170, right? We can go all the way to the west wall. I think most of the work of the Brick Nation was making the wall. And I remember having great fun with Jeffrey. Jeffrey and I, we are both from Belgium. And we were just having so much fun making the wall together. I have really good memories of that. It's a bit bittersweet, right? I've got some really nice memories of the Brick Nation and some that are less than stellar, but still think of people fondly. Okay, so in here we go. This is also like 300 tiles wide, right? So it's a big place. It's a big place. I think I've practically seen all of it, though I think that near the center of town I might be missing some stuff. Oh yeah, and over here, I think Maki was trying to build a fish-shaped fish house, but Maki never finished it, because Maki also left the Brick Nation at some point. Lots of people were in here and just left. And that's the English Country Garden. There we go. Trying to go back. Let's see where we are. That's the tree farm I see. Yep. That's the center of town. Oh, my cat is crawling on me. Vincent, hello, boy. What's up, boy? Oh yeah, and I think this was a collection of peppercorn clusters because Colin wanted to make a pickle palace here, I think, but I don't think he ever did. All right, this little area here. We have the cocoa tree here, and we also have a bunch of banana trees here. Like, this amount of banana trees was insane. So I basically made a little area here where we had some soil, we had a well, and then every time we needed some chocolate or some bananas, we could just come here, and this was like another amazing spawn in this town, like, amazing. Also, guys, look at the kitty on the shipwreck, and look at it very well, because this is one of the last times you will see it. Kitties on shipwreck are going to disappear. We will no longer have shipwrecks on the next map. Cats will be in the green biome, but not on a shipwreck in the water like this. I kind of like this, to be honest. I think this is very cute, but it's going to disappear. So yeah, say goodbye to the kitties, guys. Well, like that. I mean, they're still gonna be kitties, just not on shipwrecks. I kind of miss that. Thought it was very cute. yeah, the good thing about having your houses like this and like having a town and knowing who lives where is that you can just have like rare items like the motorbikes and the hats and no one can come and steal it. Like, there's no way to steal it because people will just they can't get in. The walls are closed. They're protected. No one can get in this entire area. So your entire area is safe from griefers. Do I think this area might be a little bit too big? I mean, initially, if you look at how many people there were in the Brick Nation, I don't think it was too big, but eventually, yeah, it kind of became too big, I guess. Also, if you're like, wow, that's a lot of peacocks over here. That was an accident. That was not supposed to be that many peacocks. Let's just say Colin went a little crazy. Colin is one of our devs, Tatikop. He went a little crazy at some point, spawned in 5 billion peacocks, and then he was like, whoa, these motherfuckers are fast. I can't even remove them all. They're too fast for me. So we had way too many peacocks for this area. This is not naturally spawning. There were a few peacocks. I'm not saying there weren't. It was very nice, but people just wanted more peacocks, and then it became too many peacocks, honestly. So yeah, lots of peacocks here. Good times, good times. I remember it like it was a year ago. Oh well. Another shipwreck. I don't think we have any cat stones here. Oh right, I planted some flowers here. I forgot. I was like, oh look at these flowers. And I was like, oh yeah, Jesse, you were the one to plant them here, you motherfucker. I don't know why I'm swearing that much today, by the way. I'm a little tired. I start swearing like a sailor then. Oh yeah, another cacao tree. I forgot we had that one over here. Could use more packs of crocs so wait, please for tavern. These are all messages from other towns, by the way. That bug really is weird. That removed all the messages. Oh well, it's time for me to say goodbye to the Brick Nation. Oh man, I really enjoyed playing here. Like, the good and the bad. And it's gonna be missed. It's gonna be missed. I hope you all enjoyed this tour of the very, very secret and elusive Brick Nation yourself. I can't thank the people who are part of the Brick Nation enough for having me as part of their crew for a while. Especially Dragon and Amani, who have been running Brick Nation for years. They're fantastic. And yeah, I hope that they bring Brick Nation back on another map. And maybe, you know, do an event here at some point or open it up to the public. It was never open to the public, which is kind of sad. Because I think they could have had fun families here. Like, it's always nice to play. I'm not saying it's always nice, but being able to play in a walled city that's this big is kind of fun, I think. So, yeah, but it is what it is. Anyways, guys, I'm signing out. Take care, everyone. And remember, eat yum. Yeet me.